Hey students, want to take a moment and talk to you a little bit about the homework for chapter 2. So let's talk about the fact that you only have 3 problems, but they're going to be difficult problems. So I hope you've been working on it. I hope you've been trying to kind of muddle your way through it because it is a complicated chapter, like I've been telling everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at number 1, do a little bit of it with you, not all of it. And I definitely don't want to do all the problems because, again, you really need to grasp the concept of all of these items. So it's really important that you really kind of get in there and do it on your own. So with that said, let me grab the trusty book here and read the problem, at least the first part of it here, which is using the types of entities found in the Colonial Adventures Tours database, which is the trips, guides, customers, and reservations. Create an example of a table that is in first normal form, but not in second normal form. So here's the interesting part about all this, and I just lost my place to where the customer table was. There we go. When you're doing this, it's helpful to really understand first what is not normalized. How do you get data that's not normalized? And in fact, we can do that here a little bit by, we're going to insert a table here. And we're going to take a look at the customer table and kind of replicate some data with using some of that. Plus, we're going to add some other stuff. We're not going to, again, we're not going to take all the columns. I just want to show you some examples of this. So kind of bear with me when we're doing that. So let's take, we want the customer number, the last name, the first name. I think that's all we're going to grab from the customer table. And then we are going to mix in some reservation data, I think. Let's go and take a look. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that that's what I want to. Yeah, let's mix in some reservation data, okay? So what we're going to do first, before anything, is we're going to create a table that is not normalized whatsoever. The 1, 2, 3 columns there, and then we'll do 4, 5, 6 columns in total. So let's do 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns with. We'll go with 3 rows. All right. So we're going to say customer number. We're going to do last name, first name, and then we're going to jump over to the reservation table. And we're going to say number reserved. Okay, it's number of persons, sorry. Number of persons, along with trip price, and we're going to say other fees. Now, so remember, what do we need to have to make something not normalized? The big item for not normalized data is repeating groups. So make sure when you're creating your non-normalized table, you're going to have some repeating groups. And again, you're probably asking yourself, why are you doing that? It's not even in the directions to do that. Again, if you can do this, because this is actually the hardest part, then the other forms make it a lot, it'll be a lot easier for those other forms. So just bear with me on that. Let's do a couple of these. We're going to say 101, last name was North Old. Liam, number of persons. And by the way, you can make up this data. I was starting to pull from the book a little bit. We're going to say 2 people at $55, $10 other fees. But here's the kicker. We got to have some repeating groups. So Liam needs to go on a couple of trips. So we're going to say that the next trip, Liam goes by himself. And because of that, it's $25. And he's got 0 fees. All right. Now on to the next person. We're going to say 102. We're going to put my name in here because I'm going to go on some trips. I'm going to take my wife on this first trip, and she likes to go on the really nice trips, so it's going to cost us $150. And of course, there's always baggage fees. And then we're going to say 103, Thomas, John, with the number of persons being 5. He's taking his whole family, and that's going to be $300. Other fees, probably $100. But again, he's going to go on a few trips. And he really likes to take his family. In fact, this time he took his family and friends, and now he's back to his family. So now we say this was $350, $600, and he got a really good deal on this one because he's a frequent traveler. And this time it was a lot of other fees. Same thing here. A lot of other fees, but again, did great there. So there we have a table. And like I said, the big deal here is that we have these repeating groups. And with those repeating groups, let me get my pins up here. These repeating groups make this not normalized. There's no normalization here. So with that being said, what is something that we have to do to make it first form normalized, but not unnormalized, right? So we want something, the directions say, now make a table that is normalized in the first form, okay? So we got to be careful. It's a little bit hard. We want to make sure we're trying to avoid, that's not what I wanted to do. It's going to be a pain, isn't it? There we go. So with this, we can already go ahead and do, we got to do the 6 rows. Go there. And it's going to be the same thing. All right. So again, here's how it works. We have got to get rid of this repeating group. Well, how do we do that? Well, North fold Liam to $55, $10. And then we have them again. And then 102. Now this doesn't have any repeating groups, so we're pretty straightforward with this. And we don't need to do any repeating groups. All right. My chair got caught on my carpet. Sorry about that. Now we're to the next one. 103, Thomas, John, and we're going to work smart here. He had 1, 2, 3, 4 trips. By the way, it's funny as I'm doing this, I'm realizing that oftentimes, if you are having to copy and paste data like I just did, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, that's a good indication that maybe something's a little awry. Maybe you've got some repeating data that you need to fix up. So kind of keep that in mind. It's because again, I shouldn't need John Thomas 4 times in my database. And that's where these issues come in that we've talked about. Why first form, which is what we have here. So now we've got first form. Oop, that was bad writing. One F in. You can also say one N F. Either way. But that's what we've got there on that second table. But again, what we were talking about, the reason why there's a problem is, again, if I do an insert, or if I did if I did an update and I said, you know what, John actually doesn't like to be known as John. He wants to be known as Johnny, right? So I do an update. But the problem is for whatever reason, the database goes haywire and it gets the first two and changes that to Johnny, but it doesn't get the second two. Now we've got corrupt data. So now that's what my data looks like. And now I have no way of fixing this, by the way. I cannot come in here and pull. I don't have a way to signify ignore these rows because they're fixed and fix just these 2 rows. There's nothing here that would help me with that. I guess I could do it one at a time using some of this data, but it's just not really conducive. So that's why we start to say, okay, well, first form is not good enough. And then we talk about the second form. So go back and make sure that you check what second form is. And you can take this table and start to split it out into second form. You probably can even take this data and find a way to split, so you'll take this, what we have here, make it into second form, and then take that second form version and go further and split it into third form. So you should be able to do that. If you find that you're having troubles, you're more than welcome to make a whole new table to take from second form to third form if you want more data, so that way, or more columns so you have more to split out. You can do that, but I'm pretty confident you can take what we have here and move to second form and third form. I know this is not a whole lot of information. I know you probably were hoping for a longer video to go into more explanation, but again, you got to struggle through with this a little bit and get it in there. Now, here's the good news. Go ahead and do the homework and get it turned in. For those that are going to really struggle, as long as I can see that you made an attempt, I will allow you to redo an assignment that's similar to this in your third week to get a better understanding of it. So here's how this goes. So you're going to turn in your homework. I'm going to then release an even more extensive video that I actually have done in previous versions of the class that will really go through the homework. And then if you got it below a certain grade and you want to, I will let you actually do this assignment again, but for a different database. So kind of keep that in mind when you're going through this. Go ahead and struggle, try to do your best, get it through, but don't let it beat you up on this, right? Don't kill yourself about it because this is a hard chapter and I want you to understand the concepts rather than get lost in the homework. All right. So with that being said, I hope you guys good luck. Stay safe with everything that's going on with the COVID-19. And now that you got to be in your home anyways, plenty of time for you to do homework. Hope to see you guys around soon.